Hey friends, and welcome back to the channel. So currently we are working on the foundation for our shed house. At the end of this video, I will have all of the totals for what we spent to date on our shed house so we can keep the running total going. So y'all will know what to expect if you are wanting to do something similar to us. Now Kenneth did get smart yesterday and put up our little canopy that we use for events over where we're digging at, so the sun is not like directly beating down on us. It gives us a little bit of shade, which is nice because it is very hot out. We are in the mid 90 range right now. The heat, the rain, the humidity is all been a hassle, but it is not going to stop us. So before we even got started on our foundation, way back when we had the excavator here on our property, we had rented a trailer to go along with that excavator. We took that trailer to Lowe's to pick up the concrete we would need for this project. We bought 126 bags of concrete. They were each 80 pounds of concrete. It was a total of 3 pallets of concrete. The trailer could only carry 2 at a time, so we picked 2 up, took them home, unloaded them off of the pallets and into the shipping container, and then returned the pallets to Lowe's because they charge you $18 a pallet if you do not return them. So you pay for the $18 per pallet, and then when you return them, they refund your money. Once we had all of the concrete unloaded, you know, we get to digging, and the soil is hard packed. You would assume because of all the rain we had, it would have been soft and easy. But that's not the case here. Instead, because Kenneth drove over it so many times with an excavator, it just packed it on down, and then the heat, the summer sun, baked that top layer to it being basically like stone. It took a lot of teamwork to dig down into these footers to get them done. So it was going that I would get them started. Declan would help out when he wanted to. I would get as much of the square as I could dug out as best as I could, and then Kenneth would go behind and do the finishing touches. So he would dig out any extra that he needed and get the footer lined up exactly how he wanted it with those orange lines he had painted on the ground. And then he went to work with smoothing the sides down, getting them nice and straight, leveling the bottom so that when we poured our concrete in, everything would go smoothly. Now, I think these footers are like 14 inches by 14 inches, just slightly bigger than 1 foot by 1 foot. And they were like 1 foot deep. So it took about 3.5 bags of concrete per footer, and we have 33 footers in total. It can never be easy, can it? We were almost done. Almost. Till we ran into a problem. Unfortunately, like all homestead projects, something has to go wrong. And when we were almost done, I think we had 4 more holes to dig, Kenneth discovered that one hole had water in it. So here in South Carolina, our water table is way high, like way high. And if you do not get a hole filled in all the way, the water will seep up in it and make a muddy, mucky mess. So as he was digging it out, he noticed it was soft, it was mud. He used the 2x4 to kind of shove down and make sure he had the depth figured out. And what we're assuming is when he come through, this was an area where there was a tree that he had pulled up and he didn't get the dirt packed back in well enough. And so with a hole there, water seeped in and it just turned it to mud. So it was hard on top, but mud on bottom. So what we did as our solution was we went out and got agricultural lime to help dry it up. It took about 2 bags. I got these at Lowe's. They were busted bags, so they were 50% off. And we just worked them into the soil. So Kenneth would pour a little bit in there and then shove it down as much as he could, mix it in, and then he'd pour more. And it took almost 2 full bags. And that ground was solid as a rock. So the agricultural lime did the trick for us. It dried up any moisture. It helped us pack it down and make it safe for us to pour our footer. Now, in a perfect world scenario, Kenneth said we would have dug out all of that mud and backfilled it with dry dirt to make sure we had a hard layer. However, sometimes we just don't live in a perfect world and we don't always have time to do anything like that. So this solution worked for us. Kenneth worked really hard on making sure it was compacted down this time, standing in it, jumping in it, making sure it would hold the weight. It took us an entire day, probably 12 hours or more, working on digging these footers out with me, Kenneth, and Declan doing them by hand. It was a little bit of a pain in the butt. But we stuck to it, we persevered, we got through it, and we got our footers stuck.
What's he doing in there?
I don't know what he's doing in there.
Did he make a home in there?
It looks like it, but he probably shouldn't be in there when we pour the concrete.
No! He's hot.
Dude, you shouldn't be in there. You're going to get poured concrete on.
You must get him out.
Come on, dude.
Where are you gonna put him at? Oh!
I guess right there. Keep going. Away from the build site, please. And off he goes. Are you trying to scare him?
Uh-huh.
Is it working? There you go, chase him across the driveway. I think he's far enough away now.
Whoa!
Alright, good job of saving the frog, bud.
Thanks!
So we got our footers done. We still had some daylight left, and with us being on a time crunch, we're going to get started with filling in our footers. Now remember I said we bought 126 bags of concrete? Well, the only way for us to get it over to the build site is to transport it. So one by one I will have to pick these bags of concrete up, put them on our little gorilla cart trailer, and drag them across to the build site. Okay, well, the trailer can only hold 2 bags at a time. I tried 4 and it didn't work. That's what I get for being over ambitious.
What happened?
Got a hole in it.
Again?
Again.
Alright, you got tape in the building.
Now, we did spend the money and invest in a concrete mixer. There was no way we were going to be able to mix all of this concrete by hand. So, this concrete mixer can fit 2 of these concrete bags in there at one time. It takes about 3.5 to fill in a hole, so we would have to load the mixer up and let it mix, dump it out, load it up, let it mix, and dump it out again. Good morning, friends. We are back for day 2 of pouring the concrete footers. We worked pretty late last night. We worked pretty late to get these 6 of them filled in and to kind of figure out what we were doing. You know, the first few always take the longest. By the time we got the 6th one done, we were working a little bit more smoothly, but all of our lights were dying. My headlamp died. It was just a hot mess. So we put it on hold, come back out this morning. The problem is we're in a bit of a time crunch because it's supposed to rain today. And we have got to get them filled in before the rain comes. Because if you're new around here, we are in South Carolina where our water table is like this high and our ground is like this high. So it's not much of a difference. If these fill in with water, it will take quite a bit for them to drain out. We ain't got time for that. So, there's 33 footers total. We have 6 completed. We have 27 to go. It is currently 8:05 in the morning. We have been up for a bit, but you know, farm chores and stuff come first. It's 8:05 and we're finally out here ready to go. We'll see how long it takes us to do 27 footers. So the concrete we are using is high strength concrete. It's made by Sacrete, I think is how you say it, in 80-pound bags. This has a 4,000 pound weight load, I guess you would say. Like it can hold 4,000 pounds before it like crushes. As with most things, when you do it repetitively, you kind of figure out a system that works for you. So the steps we would have to take was we would move the concrete mixer to its new location, plug it up if it was not plugged up, add the concrete and the water in at that time and allow it to mix. Dump a little bit into the bottom, you know, just like a fourth of the way up. And then Kenneth was putting in these metal bracings. We actually cut them out of cattle panel that we had left over that we had cut down to make a goat kidding stall last year. We had it kind of sitting to the side. So Kenneth went ahead and cut those up because it would have been the same price as if we would have bought the fencing from Lowe's that was made for this. And these are thicker metals, so they got to be a little bit stronger. So that's what we used. Use what you have to get the job done, and it saved us a smidge more money. So he places the fencing in the bottom, kind of snugs it in good in that concrete, and then fills up more of that concrete mix almost all the way to the top, and then adds another piece and finishes it off with more concrete. God, I am exhausted. Each bag weighs 80 pounds. We have 126 of these bags. The trailer can only carry them 2 at a time. I have made 7,740 steps back and forth. It's only $12.50. And each time I go over there, I am towing 160 pounds. And I don't even know how many times I've done that so far, or how many thousands of pounds I have towed back and forth. I'm exhausted. I'm coming. I'm just tired. My muscles are tired. I'm about to drop that one. Just rest there. Okay, so now the moment everybody is waiting for, how much have we spent? Because it's just something that's fun to know and keep track of. So we purchased 126 bags of Saccrete at 80 pounds. This was the high strength concrete. And it cost us $595.98. We had a pallet charge times 3, which come out to be $48.60. Our 2x4s that we needed for our cement molds were $71.50. I think we bought like 22 of those. And then we purchased the cement mixer from Harbor Freight for $369.35. For this day, the cost that we spent was $1,085.43. However, we did return the pallets, so we got our $48.60 back, and we did not use all 126 bags of concrete. We returned 8 bags, which gave us back $40.39. So we ended up finishing out the day with $996.44 invested. Now if we add that to our shed, which cost us $26,624, and to the excavator trailer rental, which cost us $1,325, we currently have a grand total of $28,945 spent to date. Now, I do want to go ahead and throw something in there. I am a military veteran, and I do get a military discount at Lowe's on some things. It does not count for wood, but things like the concrete, it did count for, so we got a little bit of an extra deal on that. And then the cement mixer we bought at Harbor Freight, we got it on sale because we are Harbor Freight members. We spend enough money there every year to be Harbor Freight members, and so we did get the cement mixer on sale, and that saved us about $40 there. So we try to buy things on sale when we can. We try to use discounts when we can to make it even just a little bit cheaper. So if you do not have a military discount, you're not Harbor Freight members, and you don't shop sales, you will have to spend a little bit more to get the same products that we got. I just want to go ahead and put that in there so everyone is aware. Where? Finally, we are on the last one. Now, if you remember the one we put the agricultural lime into to dry it up, that worked out perfectly. We had no issues with pouring that footer, so I just want to go ahead and give y'all an update. The last footer, we had to mix this bag by bag instead of dumping all 3.5 bags in there because we had a little bit left over from the one before that, and we were trying to not end up with a ton of concrete left over after we filled this in because it's not an exact science. A little extra water here, a little extra concrete mix in the bag kind of throws things off and makes it just a little bit different from footer. So we did this bag by bag, step by step, and just tried to work it in as best as we could, and I think we did a pretty good job. All in all, it took us 16 hours total to pour the concrete for these footers. So we did about 4 hours the night before, and then 12 hours on this day for 16 hours total. But our last footer has just been poured. Now we have to wait 24 hours before we can see the finished product. It's coming, guys.
No, son. Get it, get it, get it. 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 That's too hard.
Alright, let Daddy take the wood off.
Yeah, Dad, watch out.
Daddy's the best helper.
Mm-hmm.
You sure are the best helper.
And Daddy's the best helper.
No, I'm not moving it right now. Alright friends, the footers are done. We are one step closer to our shed house being delivered. Thank you for hanging out with us today as we went through this process. I hope you enjoyed it as more than we did, I'm going to say, because it was hard work, but it's done, it's behind us, and it's one step towards our goal, which we are very thankful for. So until next time, friends, bye. We will see you later.